Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. As ever, you can find me over on Instagram at the House of Langford and at Overall Sews. I'm also on Ravelry at MadXStitcher, and welcome to my monthly podcast about all things crafty, really. Basically what I get up to each month. That includes finishes, whips, plans for next month, and acquisitions. And while I'm here, I do blab a bit. Yeah, mostly crochet. I do dabble in knitting and other crafts as well. By day, I am a textiles teacher, so kind of goes with the territory. So, moving in, it is September. Well, now we're in October, but this podcast is about what I did in September. So, my plans, therefore, for September were as follows. I needed to weave in the ends on my 70s Briar Rose blanket. Still haven't done it. Don't fancy it, not going to do it. So, that's just been left to one side. I planned to finish the ripple blanket that I was working on, which I needed one more month of minis to go into it when I last showed you last month. And that is now done. Haven't woven the ends in that because they're all about this long. Don't really see the point. And it's for me, so no one's going to see it. Oh well. Progress on my C2C blanket that I was doing for Joey. That's finished. So that's 2 finishes for this month. Both blankets as well, which means they both go into the Sophie's blanket finish along over on Instagram. So I will be tagging those shortly. I wanted to make some progress on the strawberry lemonade shawl. And I wanted to start my own Biscornu for the Biscornualong, which I launched on the 1st of September. So, let's go straight into finishes, shall we? I'm going to talk about 2 that I can't show you at the moment because they are for work and therefore they are at work. I have been working on a new project for my Year 8 students, and that has included doing some pop art. I've done some painting using heat transfer paint, transferred it onto a satin fabric and then made it into a storage box. So that's going to be really interesting to see what they come up with, and it means I have a lot of time to use the heat press because I have 5 classes. But, or do I have 4? No, I have 4 Year 8 classes, so that will be good to see how they get on with that one. Hopefully I've popped a picture up of what it looks like. The other one is that I started Textiles Club this week. So on Thursday the 30th we had our first Textiles Club, and I had made a couple of poppies just to show them what we're making for the first few weeks of the club. The idea is that we can make enough to create a dress and have it on display for Remembrance Sunday for the 11th of November. So fingers crossed we get enough. I need some more students though, so hopefully it will all pick up. Anyway, those are the 2 that I can't show you, and I also need to say what I am wearing. So I was lucky enough to purchase one of these amazing crocheter hoodies from Stitchers Tees. They recently closed the shop so they could reopen with just screen printing rather than using the vinyl. So this one is gold vinyl on a black hoodie. And it is so snuggly and warm. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't buy one sooner, but I love it. And yeah, I'm just very pleased. Now I need to get one with screen printing on. So, actual finishes that I can show you. There are 2. I've just mentioned them both anyway, but we're going to go straight into the ripple blanket, which you did see last month. But I'm not going to show you the whole thing again. I will just show you the end, so as to what colour it finished on, if I can remember what end it was. This one. So I think I'd just got into the yellows when I showed you last month. I'd had the, it's like peachy coral, into the oranges, yellows, and then it finishes with this little bit of lime green just peeking over the top, which is quite nice because it kind of started on green. Obviously not quite the same colour, but I absolutely love this blanket. It is nice and warm, it's nice and thick, and I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. The pattern is so simple to work up that I didn't need the pattern after doing it for maybe 10 rows because it's just one row repeat. So yeah, it worked up super quick. I used the mini skeins from Vicky Brown Design, so her 10-gram minis in the ombre die set. There are now 16 months worth of minis in this blanket, which means it is now an heirloom blanket, and hence why it is not going anywhere and staying with me. Yeah, I love the fact that it is just a plethora of colour, this huge rainbow, and it's nice and squishy. It is definitely one of my favourite makes this year, actually. Last year my favourite make I think was the hippo, but this year I think this is definitely my favourite. I just enjoyed every minute of working on it and just couldn't put it down. So the pattern is called the Neat Ripple Blanket. It is from Attic24 over on her blog. So if you get it from the blog, it's free. I think if you download the PDF, then you have to pay for it. But I love it. So much so that I have actually told so many people about this pattern, and they've all now gone and found the pattern themselves as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing lots of more of these ripple blankets. I will try and put some pictures up of what it looks like kind of styled on my sofa, because it is now massive. But yeah, I really like it. It is definitely my favourite make for this year. So next up is the graphgan that I started. I think it was quite late last month I started this. I think I had maybe a triangle from the bottom to show you last month. But it's now finished. It is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So I am tempted to make up a border for it. Now it's C2C, and the last time I made a C2C blanket that was pieced together, it took an absolute age to stitch them together, and I didn't enjoy stitching them together. I want to see if I can try and attach as I go, but we shall see. I'm tempted to do, it's a Pokemon blanket basically. I'm tempted to do some Pokeballs to go down the sides, and I've even been looking at the Pokemon logo from the original Game Boy to do it as like a header on top, so we'll see. But he's finished. I love him. There are so many ends to weave in, but I don't care. He's just so cool. So it's meant to look like a Game Boy. Let me see if I can fit it in the screen this way. So that's sideways. So it's not even quite my arm span. I could probably go a bit further. But again, I'll put some pictures up of this at its full size so you can see it now. Right, so, but yeah, so I've done Charizard in C2C. I've used, so all the colours are Stylecraft DK from All Tangled Up, so my little yarn shop, other than the black and the grey. Now the black and the grey are from Stash, they are Anti Pilling DK from Deramores, but the rest is all the colours are from Stylecraft. Let me show you the back. It's kind of a mess. I left them long enough so that I could weave them in, but there's just so many. I need to weigh it actually and find out how much yarn I've actually used, or at least weigh the balls that I worked from. I didn't quite use 2 balls of red. The original pattern is from Busy Crafty on Etsy. She's also on Instagram. Now, I bought the yarn based on the yardage, but all the examples I've seen are done using double crochet. So you do like so many stitches of each colour and then go back over the top to make a grid, to make a box. But I saw the grid as I need to do that as C2C, which is why it's come out smaller. But I bought 7 balls of red yarn for this blanket and I still have over 5 balls left. So I need to use them. I was tempted to make another 3 and stitch them together, so I've got like all of the evolutions for him, but that's just more work, and I have other projects that I need to be doing between now and Christmas, or now and the end of the year, so I don't want to be making another 3 blankets because this has taken nearly the month to do. There's only 3 months left of the year, and I don't want to be spending all my time simply making 1 blanket. So I'm going to try and add pieces to it to at least make it wider and see how we go from there. Yeah, not much else to say on that one really. Like I said, I'm going to try and add some Pokeballs to it and maybe add the title Pokemon to the top. I might just do the Pokeballs at the bottom and then add in maybe just like a strip of red either side, so I use up the 2 balls that I've already started. But oh well, I guess we'll see, won't we? Anyway, I really enjoyed this. Is my first graphgan. I really enjoyed working on it. It took me a little while to work out which direction I would pull my floats when I'm transferring or pulling them behind stitches. So some of these have got like black yarn running behind them to get to the next bit, especially in the border. So this border here, the black runs behind the red to get to this border on all sides. So yeah, at one point I think I had maybe 9 balls of yarn attached to it. I had a little ball of orange that I'd wound off to do the eyes, the white. So the white, there's not an awful lot of it, so I literally just did a bit, did the rows that included that white and then cut it off straight away so I could move it on to the next bit. So I think there's only six boxes of white on it. So I could have used stash yarn, but I couldn't find it. I know I've got a little ball of white yarn somewhere that is DK, but I just couldn't find it, so I had to start a new ball. But there we go. So that is blanket number 2 for the Sophie's Blanket finish along. Right, moving into whips then. And I only really have small whips to show you. So in my Animal Crossing's drawstring bag, my bells bag, I have the Strawberry Lemonade Shawl. Now I did show you this to you last month because I started it last month. However, since then I got myself all confused. I did 2 bits wrong. So I found that my yarn overs weren't actually yarn overs. So they weren't creating the whole pattern, like the lace pattern that it was supposed to. Or at least it wasn't looking correct. So I wasn't happy with that in terms of the first part of the lace, which I think I showed you last month. But then I went to do the second part of the lace and then somehow lost a stitch. So I had to add one, and I just didn't like the fact that I was having to fudge it. So I pulled it all back and redid it. So now that my yarn overs are correct, so the lace pattern now looks like lace rather than being looking weird like it was before, and I do have the correct amount of stitches. I have knit up to, I think I'm 3 rows into, maybe 4 rows into the second lace panel. I've redid the first lace panel and the garter stitch panel. Trying to remove it around the needles so I can show you better. I'm still currently on the small needles, so I'm not sure if you can see. Can we see the pattern? Lovely lace pattern that's forming. I think it looks like strawberries. So there we go. So we've got a lovely lace pattern, that's the first one. And then you can see that I'm starting to build up the holes for the second lace panel at the top. So I am further than I was last month. However, I have knitted twice. And I've now got some needles that I can transfer it to. So I'm not going to lose any on these little needles. And I am using Roxanne, which is lovely red and coral tones with these little specks of black in there, which is from Truly Hooked, so Verity of Truly Hooked. The pattern itself was from the Cozy Box, so it's the summer Cozy Box, so June, July time, by the Midnight Diary, so Gemma. And have I been showing it to you backwards? I have. That's the front. That's better. That's the front. Get the end out of the way. Yeah, so I've been enjoying it. I did stop that. I was trying to knit it on Sunday last week, and realised that lace work and me are not good for talking about along with, so I need to actually sit and focus on it and not try and sit and chat, because I have not really done a lace before and I don't want to have to pull it back again. Once I finish this lace section, I will be putting in a lifeline so that I can then do the garter panel, and if it goes wrong I can just rip back to the garter panel. So I'll move up the lifeline once I finish the garter section. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I love the fact that there's some stockinette bits in it, amongst the lace and the garter, so it's looking really pretty. One of my aims for October is to try and finish it, so we shall see. But yeah, that is my that is my start to the Strawberry Lemonade Shawl by the Midnight Diary. So now I just need to find where I put my new needles and put them in the bag. Right, my second whip, I have worked a little bit on it because I finished the squares and then stitched around them, but I need to stitch them together. So as I mentioned earlier, I started the Biscornualong. Wait, that means you haven't seen it at all because I started it in September. Right, so in September the 1st, I started the Biscornualong. This is a Biscornu. I think I showed you some more Biscornus last month. And I've decided to do the same one but on blue fabric. So I have created my 2 squares from the same pattern, just white thread on blue fabric, and I'm actually going to stitch them together using the blue that matches, so that the white stands out from the rest of the pattern. Again, this pattern is by the Urban Stitcher over on Instagram and Etsy, and this is actually going to be smaller than this one, because what I didn't realise is that the blue fabric is a different count to the red fabric. So I think the red was 14, maybe 16 count, and I think the blue is either 16 or 18 count. So it is going to be slightly smaller, which means it's a bit fiddly, but I'm really going to enjoy finishing this up. This is going to be a gift as a thank you, so I won't say who it's from, just in case they're watching. But yeah, so this is going to be a gift for somebody, and I mean it's almost done. All I've got to do is stitch it together to make the Biscornu. So that is again on one of my goals for October, that I need to finish this off. And then once I finish this off, I think I've got a couple of bits I want to add to it, and then I can send the gift. So hopefully that will be done fingers crossed I'll actually take some pictures before I send it so that I can show you next month. Otherwise I won't have anything to show you because I always forget stuff. But yeah, so if you're joining in with the Biscornualong, please do tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag Biscornualong, which I'll put at the bottom. I'd love to see what you're getting on with and what patterns you're choosing as well. I've seen a couple of people already start, so what I might do is start a little make-along gallery at the end so that you can see what other people are doing as well for this make-along. So yeah, please do join in, and I love to see your work over on Instagram. Right, so last whip then is in my handmade exclusive crochet heart project bag. It is from Crochet Society box 26. I will double check, but I think it's 26. And I am doing the baby blanket, which uses filet crochet, and it is a heart pattern. Now I've just yesterday joined in the second ball, so ignoring the top 3-4 rows because that's what I did yesterday, which was in October. I've made pretty good progress. I've done 2 full pattern repeats, and actually as of yesterday I've done 3 full pattern repeats before joining in the second ball. So hopefully my tension is good enough that I will get the blanket out of both balls, because some people have said that they have run out of yarn, but I should be alright. So we shall see. But yeah, so it's a little baby blanket. I'm worried it looks like a rainbow. Yeah. Anyway, I really like it. It's working up quite nicely. It's actually working up really quickly. What I don't like, however, is the yarn. It came with the box. It is Kaleidoscope by Signet for Bella Coco. It's called Rainbow Drops, and I've been pulling from the middle of the ball, so the yarn keeps splitting and separating because it's two, can we see, it's 2 colours twisted together. So there's like a cream that runs all the way through it, a white that runs all the way through it, and then the colour is added to it. So it keeps untwisting and I have to keep retwisting. But the first ball I worked from the centre. The second ball, the colour didn't match from the centre, so I'm having to work from the outside, which means that the colours are now going in the opposite direction. So it will go through a colour spectrum this way, and then the other end is the opposite. So the colours sort of go inwards to each other, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean the colours are lovely, but I'm just not particularly happy with the fact that the yarn keeps splitting because of the way it's plied together. It is 100% acrylic. 100 grams is 292 meters, and it uses it says 3.25 to 4 mil hook or needle size. I am using the 3.75 that came in the box, which is this one. Is nice and sparkly. Yeah, nothing wrong with the hook. I just not particularly fond with the yarn. The pattern is by, so who did the pattern for this one? It is by Zoe Patrak over on Instagram. So I've never done filet crochet before, which is why I wanted to try it, and also I have friends who are having babies, so I've been making baby blankets, as you do. But yeah, I'm really liking it actually. It's coming out really well, even if it does kind of look like a rainbow. But hopefully that won't take too long to finish. I'm now halfway through. There's 3 more repeats to go, so I should get that finished for this month, and hopefully that's in time for babies to arrive. So we shall see. So yeah, that's in one of my crochet project bags. So the last thing that I need to show you, my last whip, I started at a speed crafting event for the craft shed in Basildon. I started some fabric weaving. I love this fabric weaving technique from the Mr. Domestic. It's what this cushion is made from. And I had so many strips of fabric left over from that cushion that I decided I wanted to make it into something else. So I've done 2 panels. Now I originally did the purple one wrong. So my second row of weaving was in the wrong order, so I couldn't do the third one. So whilst I was contemplating what to do with that, I then did a smaller one in the pinks that were left over. And I still have a couple of bits of fabric left, but not enough necessarily to make another panel to match the same size. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the other sides of these. These are going to be project bags. I don't know if... So here's one. So this is the pink one that I was doing. And it's now all stitched in place and fused on the back with interfacing. And this is called a triaxial weave. So you start with all your straights going straight down. Then you weave one set diagonally, and then you weave the other set diagonally in between. And they create this really nice diamond pattern. Or sometimes if I do it correctly, you get little boxes. So this one I think is just going to be folded and create like a little clutch bag. I think that would be quite nice. A little bag that way. So that's a purple one. The pink one. My purple one is slightly bigger. They're still roughly the same height, but this one is wider. And what I want to do is do a second panel of this to do the back. So I wanted a 12" by 12" square, so I think that's slightly bigger. But again, this one's been stitched together and fused on the back, just to make sure it's not coming apart in any way. This one is definitely going to stay this size. I have been working on a few bits to go with it. It's going to be a project bag, and it's kind of going to be a mix of all different elements as well. So I've got some machine embroidery bits to add to it. I've got this bit, which is the weaving. I don't really know what else to do. I might simply just use the embroidery and this, but we shall see. I might make the embroidery into something else instead to go with it. But this is actually going to be a gift as well. So again, I won't mention who it's for. But I really enjoy working these up. They do take me a little while actually though to weave them and then stitch them together. I think stitching both and ironing them took about an hour to do both pieces. So I've been toying with the idea of making some to put in the shop. I'm not sure how much it's actually going to cost because of the time frame involved. So I need to time myself really on how long it takes me to do maybe a piece this size, and then see how long it takes to make it into something. So watch this space, you never know, there may be some like one-off pieces. But yeah, I've really enjoyed working on these, so I'm excited to see what they become in the future. Right, I think that is everything that I need to show you that's crafty related. So now is time for acquisitions. Yeah. So first of all, I've got all the yarn I bought for the graphgan blanket, which I already had the grey and the black. I can't remember if I borrowed the black or the grey from my friend Emma, and I had the other one. But either way, I had one colour and she had the other colour. So yeah, the grey and the black were Deramores, which I showed you ages ago when we got the boxes. So I won't show you those again. But this is what's left of the 2 red balls I started with for the blanket. So I don't think I would have got it out of one ball. So I think it was safer for me to use the second one. But obviously I do have some left over, so I'm going to try and add borders using those and just make up some C2C strips and then attach them. So I then have, I'm going to try and find all the colours. One of these is called Spice. I think it's this one. No, this is Tomato. This one's Spice. We then had the yellow, which the tag is flying away from, which is Citron. So that was his belly. Those are the main two colours for Charizard himself. Then we had two colours for his wings. So Cornish blue and petrol made up his wings. And then I obviously had the white and the black for his eyes and the outline. Here's the needles I bought. So they can go straight into the bag they're supposed to be in. I'm going to leave out the red, I think. And I actually think I'm going to leave out the petrol and the yellow, because I think that's the colours I'm going to use for the title. Yeah, they look quite nice together. So, yeah, now I'm waffling. Let me try and get these back in the bag. I do like these colours together though. They work really well. So it's going to be nice to see them worked up. The yarn just goes on and on and on. I've definitely got to make another one now, haven't I? But I think it's going to have to be for me, and it's going to have to be Pikachu. Just because. So I'm also going to leave out one of the smaller balls of black left over. As I said, I need to weigh all of this to see exactly what I've actually used. And try and work out the yardage as well. Because, like I said, it's not as big as I thought. So I now have like almost 5 balls in front of me. And as I said, I had all the red and the black and grey. So I didn't actually need that much, which is kind of annoying. But there we go. So there's that. Whilst I was out last weekend, because it's now October and Halloween is around the corner, I was going to try and make up a pumpkin. And I didn't have all the colours with me for the blanket that I was working with, so I went and bought a bright orange and another black, because clearly I need more black yarn. These are actually from one of the charity shops that we visit on a weekend, and this is Signet's Pato Everyday DK. I've got orange and black. I think they were like £1.79 or something a ball, maybe a bit more. So they're not expensive. Maybe £2.79. Can't remember. So yeah, I want to make some really bright pumpkins with the orange. This isn't, I don't know if it's showing up correctly, but it is a lot brighter than the orange I've just shown you. So that's going to be interesting for pumpkins. I wanted to try and do some for Halloween and teach the girls at school in Textiles Club how to make crochet pumpkins, but now that I've chosen to do the poppy dress, I don't think we're going to have time. Might just make some anyway to have at home. Right, so let's put these to one side. So the 2 sets of needles I got, I bought the 3.75 circulars to do the strawberry lemonade, so I can swap it over. And then because I use 4 mil a lot and I've got a lot of DK, I spotted these and I thought I'd give these a go, which is 4 mil cubics from Knit Pro. I didn't realise they were cubics at the time, but I'm tempted to give them a go and see how I get on with them, basically. So yeah, those are the 2 sets of needles I got. I'm going to leave this one, put this one in the bag, so it's where it should be, and then I can transfer that over when I do the next row, maybe tomorrow, not sure yet. I have to like plan which day I'm going to work on which project just to try and get them done. Right, so as I mentioned before, I got the Stylecraft yarn from my little yarn shop. Whilst I was there, I also picked up some chunky yarn so that I can have a go at testing my secret squirrel project in different yarns. So I picked up 2 more Stylecraft yarn, Storm Blue, but this time in their chunky. So both are Storm Blue, because I want to check how much the meterage is, because I used 150 grams of Gemma's yarn for my pattern, but I don't know if that's going to be 150 grams of other yarn as well, because when I used the James C. Brett marble chunky, I used less than 100 grams, so I want to check what it's like with others. And I also picked up a King Cole Timeless Chunky in Harvest, which is really, really lovely. Like, it just reminds me of autumn and harvest. So I thought I'd picked up another one. I have got another one in here. I picked up the Bordeaux as well, and they work really nicely together. So even if I have to do a bit of each, they're still going to look nice together too. So it's like a wine colour. These are quite nice. I like these. Oh, they remind me of Gryffindor. So yeah, so that's the yarn I got from my local yarn shop. And whilst I was there, I also spotted these, is it Drifter? King Cole Drifter. So I got these 3. This is double knit. I didn't realise how expensive it is, but it feels really nice. It's kind of like really nicely twisted yarn as well, so there's more than one colour in there. It's kind of like a marbled effect or a mould effect. So I've got mustard, black and cream, so maybe they'll become a new pattern soon too. I've really got my eye on designing patterns now, so yeah, watch this space. So in other news, Die Candy reached her crowdfunding limit and target, and the yarn has been spun and dyed, and it is amazing. And this yarn is made from 80% extra fine superwash merino, 10% banana fibre and 10% pineapple fibre. It's fingering weight yarn. I think it's a high twist, 400 meters per 100 grams, and they are amazing. Look how much colour they take. There's really nice speckles there as well. It's really nice and soft. Honestly, no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I couldn't resist trying something new and being a part in this whole new fibre type, because it clearly works. It'd be interesting to see how it washes. I don't think I would trust it in the machine. I think I would have to do it as hand wash. But yeah, Hutch is amazing. So that's the new yarn from Die Candy. It is called Notorious. So yeah, really, really pleased with that. There was also like a bag of stickers, which I've put to one side so I can't show you. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So I had been tempted to go in and buy some undyed yarn as well so that I could have a play with it. I'm not really skilled in dyeing yarn. I just dabble with food colouring, and I'm not sure if these would actually take food colouring, so I don't want to ruin it. So I'll leave it to the professionals for a little while. So another month has passed, which means I've got another month of minis from Castle View Yarn for the Friends inspired minis. I don't think I've opened them yet. They're still in the packet. Whilst I was there though, I also picked up this amazing fade. Aren't they cool? I love sunset colours. This just reminds me of a sunset. And it's called Midsummer Fade. So I have 10 minis. They are DK. 20 grams each. And I just love them. Again, no idea what I'm going to make with them. But I don't care. I am going to be testing a pattern for Sophie again, so a Spring Snowflake, but she uses 4-ply yarn. So once I finish the 4-ply version, I might try it in DK because I really like these colours, and having seen the pattern, I think these would work really well. Yeah. Yeah, these are absolutely stunning. So, moving on then, the one with the mini skeins. So for Chandler, we have, which was September's, we have Gum Would Be Perfection, Whoopah, Miss Chanandala Bong, A Very Long Hard Day, and Could I Be Any Funnier? So let's see what we've got. I'm so glad I found these, and I really hope my sister's going to appreciate the, not only the work that goes into it, but the cost. Because I'm planning on making a blanket out of these for her. Apologies for the rustling. They're pretty. Oh, I missed one. So, Gum Would Be Perfection. Could I Be Any Funnier? Whoopah is the middle one. Now this actually has speckles of pinks in it. There we go. Speckles of pinks. Then we have A Very Long Hard Day. And Miss Chanandala Bong. Love it. Absolutely love it. So those are the next 5 going into blankets, and I have been getting 20 grams Superwash Merino DK, so I'm really hoping I've got enough to do the blanket. I probably should start it to find out how many squares I'm going to get. Just in case I want to then get the new ones that she's bringing out. So she brought out Playing Games last month. The pre-order was for Playing Games. This month I can't remember what it's called, but there's a few new ones on there as well. So each month she's still continuing the theme of Friends, but she's picked out elements from the series, not just the characters. I was quite hoping she would bring in other characters like Janice and Gunther, just because they've been sort of consistent throughout. But I am liking the idea of these other elements coming into it. I've not purchased the last 2 just because I was so focused on the characters, and I want to see how much how many squares I can get out of them. Really, I need to check the information on the Battenberg blanket because that's what I want to do, and find out just how much I need for the contrast colour, and then I can get some of the plain colour to tie the 2 together. So we shall see. I've really enjoyed getting these. They have put a smile on my face every month, so yeah, I really hope my sister likes it too. Okay, last, actually it's not the last, second to last yarn purchase then. Gemma of the Midnight Diary has decided to stop dyeing yarn due to health reasons and the fact that she's carrying a little one and needs to focus on both of their healths first. So this was effectively the last thing she was dyeing, other than her monthly, like her, oh, what are they, rather than her cozy boxes. This was the last thing she was dyeing. So as part of Perf Collab Club, so I bought 2 skeins each of Pointless Mnemonic, 2 in the DK. I love the fact it's like this broken rainbow with the greys in between. It's like stormy clouds, but then you get this rainbow peeping through. And then I also got 2 of the sock weight. So I have 4. I have no idea what I want to do with them, but I needed to get more than 1 of each, just so that I knew I wasn't going to run out if I used them for something else. So yeah, what I'm thinking is a shawl in one of the sock weights, because I think it would be really nice and light and show off the colours really well as well. So that's a plan for one of these. As I've bought DK for all of them, so each month for the Perfect Monthly Collab Club, I have bought DK, and I want to try and make a jumper with one of every skein, which means it will be quite eclectic and mismatched, but that will be my perf jumper, so that when I do finally make it to perf, I can wear that jumper. So that's what I've got, which means I need to find a DK pattern for a jumper that is going to use a little bit of 12 months of yarn. But it's going to be fun to work in all of these different colours. So yeah, thanks Gemma, I love them. As each month they get a Eris Apple also designs a patch for each dyer for the month. So this is the Midnight Diaries patch with a little alarm clock showing midnight on the clock and some stars. So I think that's very sweet. I still haven't decided if I'm going to put all the patches on the back yet, or dig out my denim jacket and put them on that. I don't know. I think patches are now the new thing, and I have another patch to show you as well. So yes, this is from the monthly collab club for September. So one last thing that is yarn related to show you. Actually no. Yeah, I'll show you the last yarn thing and then I'll show you the last patch that I got. Deramores have a new yarn out. It is a DK yarn. I think it's called Special DK. And they had bundle options on their website where you could buy 15 balls of the new yarn, so 15 different colours, for half price. And they had 2 different bundle options, and when I looked they both had different colours. So there are 30 different colours of yarn for this new range, and I now have one of everything. So it is in this massive bag. It's ginormous. There is a hole in the bag as well up here, so I know one of them's green because there's green there. I need to check if it's been marked or anything. Now I'm not going to open them up on screen because there are 30 of them, so I just wanted to show you how big 30 skeins of DK is. It's quite big. My husband's not happy either that I've got this, so yeah. What I'm going to do is open it up off camera and take a picture, which hopefully I'll pop up now, of all 30 colours, so you can see just how much there is and the range. It feels quite soft, like the one let me pull this one out. It's Studio Special DK. It is nice and soft. It's 100 grams. So, and you get 266 meters per ball. It's very soft. And it is 100% acrylic. Now, the reason I buy acrylic is because they are perfect for blankets and scrap blankets and stuff. I don't want to be using a lot of hand-dyed yarn. I mean, you can see just how much it costs me to do the ripple blanket from hand-dyed yarn. So if I'm going to make something else of a similar size, acrylic is my go-to because it's a lot cheaper. And yeah, so these are like £2 a ball. I actually really like the Deramores yarn, so, and I think I prefer it over Stylecraft. So I know I'm going to use this yarn. But yeah, hopefully I'll have shown you a picture of all 30 of them. And because clearly I have no self-control. So yeah, that's the last yarny thing I bought. And Perth Festival of Yarn was a couple of weeks ago up in Scotland. Now, as a teacher, I couldn't get there because it would have meant going up on the Friday. And it was before payday as well, so I had no money. But I had asked some of our friends if they could get. So Soken Jo has decided to get some patches from Eris Apple with her brand logo on, her new logo on, that she's developed, so that when you pick up a bag, you can pick up a patch that says, "I've bagged a Soken Jo," which I think is awesome. Now obviously I couldn't go. These were on sale at Perth, and the lovely P offered to get me one. So I sent her the money over on PayPal, and then the next day, because clearly I am so disorganised with paying for stuff, the next day I received a lovely package with this patch in. And I love it because the card states that as you couldn't make it to Scotland, I thought I'd send you a wee taste with your patch. So she sent me a little slice of Scotland, and yeah, it just made me smile. So I have this beautiful postcard of the Scottish borders, and then, because why not, who doesn't love a man in a kilt? Again, also a postcard, but aren't they, isn't P just the loveliest? Not only that, she sent me tablet. I've had tablet before, but not of this size. So I have Mrs. Tilly's tablet, and she sent me a different one I've not tried before, macaroon. And since these arrived, my husband's been going, "Can I have some tablet? Can I have some tablet?" I'm like, "No, I need a photo first." So they're still in the packet. I have now taken the photo, so I think we will be sharing these this week. I might have to open up the macaroon though, because it's starting to fall apart in the packaging. Love coconut. So thank you so much, P. I honestly did not expect you to send me bits, extra bits. I just expected a patch. So thank you. I still don't know what I'm going to do with all my patches. I need to make a plan, because at this rate I'll have absolutely hundreds of them and no idea what I'm doing with them, and then I'll have to sew them all on at the same time. So I need to get a move on and decide what I'm doing and just get them attached to something. There we go. So yeah, that is all my purchases other than magazines. So even though I say, "Oh, I'm nearly there," there's always more. You don't have to sit and watch me show you everything I've bought, unless you're nosy. So More It magazine has finally been published and released, and the patterns in this are so lovely. I've even picked one out already that I want to try, and it is a jumper. Let's see if I can find the pattern quickly. There we go. This one. So it's kind of like mosaic or intarsia crochet. So you're using 2 strands at once. So that's going to be really nice to work with. Yeah. So with this, I also I ordered the pin badge that came with it. So I got a little Morit badge with a little crochet hook. So I'm really looking forward to trying out the patterns and seeing what else they come up with in future issues. Yeah. So I've got a few bits this month. I really do need to stop buying yarn. I think now that I've pretty much topped up my Deramores, or over topped up my Deramores, I do not need to buy any more yarn. Ever. I'm looking to get some bits from Stationery Geek. Gemma over at the Midnight Diary has a coupon code that you can use to get some discount off. And I need to organise my stash. They do a stash inventory book, so I'm looking to get that. But having noticed how much yarn I actually have, I am going to need 2 books. However, I've also decided that if it is in a kit, I am not putting it in the stash book. So to finish off this month, there are 2 challenges that I have decided to join in with. One of them is to finish your whips, which is Whips Be Gone 2021 by Devoted Quilter over on Instagram. The other one is to cast on new projects, which is the Great Winter Cast On run by Gemma of the Midnight Diary and Ellen of Callock Sheck Ellen on Instagram. Basically, there are 100 days left of 2021. I think it's from the 23rd of September, there was 100 days left of the year. And therefore, the Whips Be Gone challenge starts from then up until the end of December. So anything that has been finished since 23rd of September that was a whip prior to 23rd goes in the Whips Be Gone 2021 hashtag. So my C2C graphgan is part of that, and then hopefully my baby blanket will also be part of that. Pretty much everything I have was started prior to the 23rd of September. So yeah, I can put any of that into that challenge. The other one, so the Great Winter Cast On, is basically for you to cast on Christmas presents and stuff. And it finishes on the 18th of December, which is a whole week prior to Christmas, which means you need to cast on whatever you cast on between, I think it was last Monday or this Monday. So the 27th, anything from the 27th of September that was cast on after or on the 27th of September up until the 18th of December counts in that hashtag as well, that challenge on Instagram. So I have plans to cast on the flax sweater because I've been meaning to do it for ages. I have all the yarn, I now have the needles. Not really got any reason not to do it, but I've also decided to test knit for Cat Crafty Knits for her squishy, Garter Squish sweater, which is in chunky. So actually that shouldn't take long. And the other one is Aaron. So both of them shouldn't take long, but I've never made a jumper before. Let's remember this. I've never made a jumper out of knitting. I've crocheted one, but we'll see how that goes. I do have to do the test knit though, because it's a test knit. So that's going to be cast on today. My plan is to cast that on today. Because I'm picking needles up for that later. And then, yeah. I also have a test knit for crochet to do, for crochet. A crochet test knit for Sophie to do of a spring snowflake. So that will be cast on this weekend as well. So that's 2 new cast ons for that hashtag. But I'm having to spread out my posts on Instagram because I've finished 2 this week. I finished the blanket this week then joined in the cast on party. Actually, I finished it during the cast on party so that I could cast something else on, and I haven't cast anything on yet. So I'm going to cast on those two this weekend so I can add those to the hashtag. Next month I need to finish the Biscornu, which shouldn't take me long. I just need to sew it together. Already mentioned that. And I want to finish the Strawberry Lemonade shawl as well. So I want to finish that off. So that's 2. So in October I plan to get 2 pieces finished for the Whips Be Gone and cast on 2 new items for the Great Winter Cast On. Free cast ons. Oh my god, that's too much work. Anyway, right, so I think that is it. I mean, in terms of the Great Winter Cast On going until the 18th of December, I do have Christmas projects I need to do as well. So I still want to do Nettie by Anna Nikoprovic. I haven't started it yet. I have everything ready to go, I just haven't started it. But now I've got the crochet to do. I'm going to do that first, I think, because that's a test that needs to be done. Then I'll do the Nettie. Yeah. Got a lot of plans. Not a lot of time to do them. So, every Thursday I'm running Textiles Club at work, which means I'm making poppies up until November. So that's going to eat up my Thursdays. But because I kind of stay later anyway, I'm going to try and work on my sewing projects after club. So my quilted pieces will become something on a Thursday at some point. So I'll show those to you next month too, hopefully. And I guess that's everything from me. Remember, if you're joining in the Biscornualong, please use the hashtag over on Instagram. Do join us for the Great Winter Cast On and the Whips Be Gone 2021. And yeah, I think that's everything. I'm going to the Knitting and Stitching show. So next week I'm going to Ali Pali for the Knitting and Stitching show. My friend Emma is actually working there Thursday, Friday to help out one of the stall holders. So she's bought me a ticket for the Saturday so we can go up for the weekend. And hopefully it's just going to be a really nice day out. And we'll see how it runs with a little bit of social distancing still in place. And that means I might be spending more money, which I don't have. Because that's what I'm good at, apparently. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this month's complete and utter ramblings and me forgetting stuff, as I always do. But I hopefully you've enjoyed it and you're liking what you see, I guess. I do talk a lot about my acquisitions because clearly I spend too much money. However, you're not obliged to watch any of that. Just skip the bit in the middle and join us at the end for everything else. Yeah. October is going to be an interesting one because we also then have October half term. And we know what happens when there isn't a half term. I get stuff done. So hopefully October I will have some more finishes for you other than a blanket or 2 blankets. Maybe even another blanket. Because clearly I enjoy making blankets. Oh, whipboard. I get to rub off the ripple blanket. There we go. That's better. Still need to do. So I have actually done the Secret Squirrels project. But what I need to do is write it up. So I'm not wiping it off until I've written it up. It's been made. But I need to write the plan up. So this reminds me I need to do that. Yeah. The others are getting no love at the moment. I might even spend some time this Christmas doing the temperature blanket. You never know. Because it's getting cold. And that would keep me nice and toasty. I kind of want to finish the Sophie's Universe though before the end of the year. My plan was that I was going to spend an hour every day working on a project that needed finishing. Now, as I've said, the Whips Be Gone is because we've got 100 days left of the year. Now that means I could put 100 hours into Samurai and get it finished, potentially. It is possible. And I could do the same with the Sophie's Universe blanket and do a part every day. Obviously, I haven't done either. I have less than 100 parts on the Sophie's Universe blanket to do. Now I know that each part gets bigger and therefore takes longer. But the aim is to try and get some of them done. So this weekend I'm hoping to cast on the squish, the garter squish, because it's a test piece. I need to start the crochet test piece for Sophie, and I need to get some hours done in this. Those are my 3 tasks for this weekend. We'll see how I get on over on Instagram. So anyway, thank you for joining me this month, and I will see you all again next month. Take care. Bye.